Welcome to County Report this week. I'm Lorna Virgili. We start the show in Annapolis, where Governor Martin O'Malley addressed the General Assembly in his annual State of the State. It was an optimistic speech where the governor pushed for his proposed budget initiatives. Governor O'Malley pushed his proposed budget while addressing legislators. A tough sale when he's looking at establishing a 6-cent gas sales tax, increasing tax rate for higher earners, and shifting teachers' pension costs to local jurisdictions.
With tough but fiscally responsible choices, we are moving our state forward out of an era of recession, foreclosure, and job loss, and into a new era of job creation and greater opportunity for all. We have not yet recovered all the jobs that we lost during the Bush recession, but we are moving forward steadily.
For Montgomery County, absorbing part of the teachers' pension cost means an additional $47 million to the already existing deficit of $135 million for the next fiscal budget.
The teacher pension still is a challenge for us in Montgomery County. It will hit us, at least in the first year, to the tune of $47 million. That is something we simply cannot afford. I agree with the governor on the gasoline tax. I agree with the governor on gay marriage. I agree with him on a variety of things that he's advocated. I just think that the teacher pension shift is simply unacceptable.
The governor still has a lot of convincing to do among lawmakers, and the Montgomery County delegation has many challenges to address.
I think what you're going to see is hopefully a discussion of what are the impacts of the state, why is the governor proposing what he's proposing, trying a better understanding of how it might impact our county government and our school system, and see if there isn't some sort of compromise that we can't come to.
The governor addressed the need for new revenues and asked lawmakers to make tough choices regarding several tax increases in order to generate and save jobs.
Well, making sure that we hold the accountable, the one-stop centers with the budget that they have, and making sure we support them to the fullest extent that we possibly can. And the governor in the past years has made sure that we've done that.
Budget negotiations will take place during the entire legislative session. Structural issues in the construction of the new Silver Spring Transit Center have raised some serious concerns about the overall future of this project. Our Susan Kennedy has more. Susan?
Lorna, the transit center has been dogged by delays, which has forced officials to push back the opening date. But now a construction error has pushed that date back even further. Reports have surfaced that concrete poured by private contractors on the reinforcing bars of the top 2 floors of the structure was not compliant with industry standards. The concrete provides support for one of the largest transit construction projects currently underway on the East Coast.
When we're evaluating just exactly how serious this problem is, early indications are it could be a very serious problem. The contractor is disputing that, believes that the building is structurally sound. Of course, the issue really is, did the contractor meet the specifications in the contract? And presumably those specifications were put in for a reason. So we are looking at this, the contractor is looking at this, the contractor needs to come up with a remediation plan.
The Paul Sarbanes Transit Center is a 3-story pedestrian-friendly structure that will support the Metrorail's Red Line and MARC trains and various bus operations. Officials say the project is critical to meet the future transit needs in the county, including the Purple Line.
On behalf of my residents that I represent in Silver Spring, they have been so patient since 2008, how they've had to figure out how to get in and outside of the metro. They've changed where the buses pick them up and drop them off. This could take a long time. We're not talking about a short delay. We could be talking about a delay of years.
This Silver Spring Transit Center is critical for many, many reasons, and for our residents to have to wait a considerable length of time to have this project finished when it was basically 90% done, it's a problem. So we're trying to encourage our citizens to take transit, and we want to make it easier for them to take transit, and this isn't helping.
The total cost of the project is approximately $101 million. With federal funds covering half the cost, the state covering 15%, and Montgomery County covering 35% of the total cost. I'm Susan Kennedy for County Report This Week.
Germantown commuters have a new ride-on service, a new shuttle service to ease commute for MARC train passengers. Ride-on Route 94 will transport passengers during peak commuting times between the Kingview Park and Ride Lot and Kingsview Village Avenue and the Germantown MARC station. For the shuttle schedule, visit rideonbus.com or call 311 Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. In other news, introduction of 2 zoning text amendments and 1 bill that addresses the future of big box retail in the county. The zoning amendments deal with providing opportunities to create mixed-use environments to limit potential adverse impact of big box retail. The bill will require retailers that receive more than $100,000 in grants from the county to pay a living wage to its employees.
The bill would make sure that Montgomery County does not subsidize Walmart-style big boxes, that we don't use taxpayer money that comes to us from good jobs and use that money to create bad jobs. So it's a restriction, it's a sort of a preventative measure so that in our economic development incentives, we are trying to create high-quality jobs that can support our quality of life.
The council held its first Shaping Our Future session designed to take a look at issues that could have an impact on the county's future planning needs. The first session focused on the county's changing demographics and how they impact educational needs.
It's not just about the future of education, it's how the demographics affect everything we do in all our service delivery, how we do our infrastructure. By infrastructure, I'm talking about the needs of senior citizens. Do we have daycares where seniors can go during the day? Do they have accessibility with our streets and sidewalks? And then with respect to education, when you look at the new folks coming in and the children age and the turnover in single-family houses, 63% of our seniors own their own homes. The real impact on school enrollment right now is not new development. It's actually the turnover of single-family homes. So, for example, the senior couple across the street from me in their 90s, they're thinking of selling. There hasn't been children in that house for probably almost 40 years. And all of a sudden when that house sells, you're probably going to get 2 or 3 children. That's the real impact. So it's important to see what's changing, where it's changing, and how it's changing.
In an effort to conserve farmland within the county's agricultural preserve, Executive Leggett announced the building lot termination preservation easement acquisition of a 200-acre farm in Laytonsville. The program provides opportunity to expand the private-public partnership that exists for the conservation of farmland within the county's 93,000-acre agricultural reserve and reduce the development threat for at-risk farms.
The BLT program provides a landowner, such as Mr. Sabler, the option to sell a BLT easement through either public or private transaction. The BLT actually terminates a septic absorption area of each BLT easement that is acquired.
The county's agricultural industry includes 577 farms producing more than $243 million in economic contributions. When we come back, we take you to the first Latino Leadership Conference in the county.
I'm Rockville 11's Bridget Breuer. Coming up next, we'll tell you why the Rockville City Police recently took the plunge for a good cause. When County Report this week continues.
Welcome back to County Report this week. I'm Lorna Virgili. 2010 census results show the Hispanic community grew 106% in the state of Maryland over the past decade. A leadership conference for Latino parents was held to exchange ideas and increase civic participation. Iris Argueta has the highlights of that conference.
So I want to welcome everybody to this.
It's the first ever Latino Parent Leadership Conference in Montgomery County, a way to mobilize the growing Latino community and increase their civic involvement. Dozens of county and state officials explored the issues that affect Hispanics in the region. Congressman Van Hollen and County Executive Leggett expressed why this is an important step for this community.
You just have to look around our community to see the very important contributions of the Latino community, both in the area of the economy and small businesses and businesses, as well as culture. And so it's very important that the Latino community become fully engaged in the political process. And that's part of what today's all about.
And having the county executive come out to participate in this forum to make sure that people are fully aware of what we are doing, to make sure that they feel included, and to bring everyone aboard and to ensure that we have a great community of diversity, and the Latino community is an integral part of that, and I wanted to be here to voice my opinion about that.
The event took place at the Ana G. Mendez University in Wheaton, Maryland. County Council Vice President Nancy Navarro organized the conference with the help of Montgomery County Public Schools and the Collaboration Council for Children, Youth, and Families. The goal, to organize Latino parents into the first Latino parent civic organization.
My hope is that in every level of government, you will see Latinos coming to express their passion, their solutions, the issues that most affect them.
26% of the students in the county are Latino. Dr. Josh Starr says the number of Hispanics who graduate from high school and take advanced placement exams is growing.
Our Latino kids' AP scores are better than the state and in many cases the nation, but we're not doing well enough, and we can always do more. We still do have some gaps. They've decreased over time, but there's still more we can do to help every child and every family become college and career ready.
The Maryland General Assembly passed the DREAM Act last year. The legislation allows undocumented students to pay in-state tuition, but opponents of the law managed to suspend it. Now it will be up to Maryland voters to decide in November.
The DREAM Act recognizes that if a young person has gone through our public school system, has benefited from the investment that the state and the local county has made in them, why not then continue that at the community college? I tell people it's not an issue of a legal issue. It's about, to me, an ethical one. What's the right thing to do? What's the thing we need for our community so that every member is actively engaged?
For now, the Latino Leadership Conference is the first step for Hispanic parents to get the support they need to become active advocates for their community. Iris Argueta for County Report This Week.
Coordinators expect to organize the Latino Parents Civic Leadership Organization. If interested in participating, call 240-777-7986. Sergeant Jennifer McNeil is here to give us an update on a series of thefts in Bethesda where someone is ripping gutters and downspouts from houses. Sergeant?
Yes, since November 1st, we've had approximately 26 incidents where someone will back a truck up into a driveway and literally rip off the copper guttering and downspouts off of houses. In this theft, a beige, a bronze, or a gold pickup truck has been seen, and on a few occasions, someone has actually been confronted. When a victim or a witness confronts these people, they simply say they're working for a gutter company, and then they leave the scene. Obviously, this has not been the case. They are not working for a gutter company, and they are stealing these copper gutterings for resale.
Sergeant, if somebody sees these individuals, what should they do?
They should not confront these individuals. They should call 911 and let the police come and do an investigation.
Thank you, Sergeant McNeil, for that information. The City of Rockville Police Department has been a strong supporter of the Maryland Special Olympics, including participating in the Maryland State Police Polar Bear Plunge event at Sandy Point State Park. Our Rockville 11's Bridget Breuer has more on this very cool event. Bridget?
That's right. Even though the weather was warm, the water was still chilly in the Chesapeake Bay. We had the chance to check in with Chief Terry Treshik to find out how this year's Polar Bear Plunge went.
It was the coldest of the 3 years I've participated.
That's the report from Rockville City Police Chief Terry Treshik on this year's plunge event.
Because the weather was so warm outside, the water was colder than it normally is when it's really cold outside. So everybody we talked to, including myself, when you dove in, your breath was totally taken away. And there's some great shots of some of our people coming out of the water going, oh, Lord. Yeah.
The Rockville Plunge team jumped into the Chesapeake Bay in support of the Maryland Special Olympics.
Well, this is another successful event for us. We had a dozen people involved. 10 were officers and members of the department, and then some family members came down. We went down on the same day that the school kids were there, so there were 3,000 school children, and then 300 police officers, and including our K-9 Boomer, who we all jumped in together. Boomer was a big hit. Everybody had a good time. The most important part about this, though, is the importance of it. It's for the Special Olympics, and in order to participate, you raise money. We were able to raise a little over $1,600. They raised over $2.1 million in Maryland for this program, and we're just glad to be a part of it.
Chief Treshik says it's events like this that make you feel good.
It's something you do to help pay back and to help those that are a little bit less fortunate than we are, and to show you care. And to be involved in something like that, and at the same time being a police officer, shows that there's much more to what we do than just being enforcers on the street or just a police officer driving in a car. It's that we're humans and we understand that everybody has issues and we all want to help get the resolution for it.
For more information about the Rockville City Police Department, go to rockvillemd.gov/police.
When we come back, the county breaks ground on what will be a brand new animal shelter. And NASA pays a visit to Montgomery College. We'll be right back. Welcome back to County Report this week. I'm Lorna Virgili. Thanks for joining us. A NASA engineer recently spoke at Montgomery College about an upcoming space telescope project. Here's the story.
The Rockville campus of Montgomery College recently held the 2012 Maryland Science Bowl. The keynote speaker was Mike Menzel, a chief engineer at NASA.
In the early 90s, almost the time Hubble got up there and about the time we fixed Hubble's problem, astronomers started to convene and say, what do we want the next space telescope to do?
Mr. Menzel is the chief engineer for the James Webb Space Telescope, which is designed to observe distant objects in space. Objects that the Hubble Space Telescope cannot detect, such as planets around distant stars and dust clouds that form solar systems.
If you're going to be looking at stuff that's so far away that it's farther away than 13 billion light years, it's going to be very, very dim. We now know there are at least 687 confirmed planets around other stars. We call them exoplanets. And by the end of this year, that's probably going to be between 2,000 and 3,000.
The James Webb Space Telescope is expected to launch in 2018.
This is for animal lovers. County Executive Ike Leggett participated in a groundbreaking ceremony of what will be the new Montgomery County Animal Services and Adoption Center. The new facility will replace the current outdated shelter and will be located at the intersection of Montcastor Mill Road and Air Park Road.
We can have more adoptions. We will probably have more calls. And as a result, we need more equipment and more support. And Alan's group is demonstrating how we can get that, and I want all of you to make certain that you participate and help him to ensure that our facility is one that we can all be proud of and that we can all work and participate in.
This complex will expand the county's ability to care for animals as well as serve as a public adoption center. The new center is expected to open in the summer of 2013. Every week we highlight a pet that needs a home in hopes that someone would adopt it. Today we introduce you to a woman whose family adopted a dog from the Humane Society. Here's Kathy Stanhope.
Hi, this is Kathy Stanhope with your Pet of the Week for the Montgomery County Humane Society, and we are here at the home of Diana Conway. Diana, thank you very much, first of all, for having us here. We really appreciate it. And can you tell me a little bit about why you decided to adopt 2 dogs from the Humane Society?
Well, first of all, I'm delighted to have you here because I think this is such a great opportunity. We adopted dogs from the shelter because we think there are too many animals who do not have a place to go, who don't have a home, who don't have families, and too many cats and too many other animals. But mostly we adopted because the idea of paying for something that's being given away and desperately needs a place to go is insane.
Diana, can you tell me a little bit about how the process went? Were the people at the shelter helpful? How did the whole procedure go?
The shelter, the Humane Society shelter, was terrific. They were very helpful in terms of laying out the options, what kind of animals were available. They knew everything about the different profiles of the dogs, so we could choose whether we wanted a puppy that we were going to train ourselves, or one that was already housebroken, or we wanted to adopt a senior dog who would be the same age as our then quite elderly remaining dog. And all of those were options that were presented to us. And they were terrific. And wanted to make sure it would be a good fit. And there were any number of choices. And then we heard there was this litter that had just been adopted out to a foster home. And we could go visit at the foster home when the puppies were a few weeks older. So it was a terrific experience. We adopted what was supposed to be one dog to replace one who had recently passed away. And I went to pick up a puppy, and my son and I sat down, Will, with this litter of puppies in our lap, and we came home with 2. Having 2 dogs is a great solution to the problem, the guilt that you feel if you leave your dog alone all day, especially if it's a dog that's left indoors. We happen to have a yard, but even so, even with birds and other things to look at and take interest in, it's good. Everybody needs company.
Diana, thank you very much for having us. Your 2 dogs have a wonderful home here. They really appreciated getting adopted. You too can have a pet of your own if you come down to visit us at the shelter. Give us a call at 240-773-5960 or visit us on the web at mchumane.org.
When we come back, the Montgomery College women's soccer team continues making history. And we take you to the first ever MCPS Theater Festival. We'll be right back.
Although spring semester has started at Montgomery College, there are still plenty of late starting classes you can sign up for. Some classes start as late as March and they're offered in many different majors. You can register online or at any of our 3 campuses. On Monday, February 6th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., MC will host a Black Inventions exhibit to commemorate Black History Month. Over 150 original artifacts will be on display, including patent designs, personal letters, photographs, and video documentaries. College-bound students and their families can get expert assistance filling out the free application for federal student aid form at College Goal, Maryland on Sunday, February 12th at MC's Tacoma Park Silver Spring campus. This form is required by colleges and universities to qualify for scholarships, grants, and loans.
Welcome back to County Report this week. I'm Lorna Virgili. The national champion Montgomery College women's soccer team keeps making big news, and here is MCTV's Michael Brown with the latest.
After winning the national championship a couple of months ago, the postseason honors have been rolling in for the MC women's soccer team. And the latest is the word that the team's architect, head coach Kelly Wakeman, has been named Division III National Coach of the Year.
It feels good. It feels like a lot of the things that we've been working on for the last couple of years have finally come together. It's a great program. It deserves a lot of recognition. And as a coach, it's always a little hard when you get these individual awards because being involved in a team sport requires so many parts, and it's really about the players. So to me, I view it as an honor.
One of the coaching challenges at a 2-year school is constant rebuilding, and the national championship came about after Wakeman rebuilt half the team.
So we had a very potent offense, and we knew that some of my best players would be coming back offensively. We knew we would score goals, so the concern was more in the defense. That was brand new. We lost all our defenders from last year and our goalkeeper. So that was the primary concern.
That concern transformed into a plus as the defense allowed just 16 goals all season, while the offense scored 65. But another key was that each of the last 3 years, this team has been knocking on the championship door, and that experience helped in the run to the title.
And a lot of it is hard work and knowing and having been there before. So at the national tournament this year, we focused a lot on what we needed to do, everything to just making good decisions, sleep, nutrition, proper meals, proper hydration, because we went up there with a professional attitude that this was our tournament to win.
Wakeman is no doubt pleased to be National Coach of the Year, but what makes her even more proud is what she's helped build for MC Women's Soccer.
Since 2008, we've lost only 12 games, and that's over a 4-year stretch of time. So that's a pretty impressive mark. We've been nationally ranked since 2008, and it helps create a legacy, which there is now. Girls look forward to coming and playing, and to have that kind of legacy for young ladies. I think it's important for women to be involved in sport and to have success. And now this is a place where they can not only get a top-notch education, but they can play some great soccer, travel, and have a shot at a national championship. So it doesn't really get any better than that as a college player. So you want a place that they feel comfortable in, And you want a place that's a family. So along with success and along with a positive attitude towards the education, we bring a really good family environment.
Theater professionals came to share their expertise with more than 300 MCPS high school students at Blake High School. Through workshops, they shared their skills and talents in the first ever theater festival.
The stage came alive during the MCPS Theater Festival as students took to the boards to perform scenes and musical numbers. More than 300 student actors, dancers, singers, and technicians from 14 MCPS high schools attended this first annual event.
In terms of your use of the space, it was really great. You guys really used the space really well.
Many of these performances are being adjudicated by theater professionals out in our community. It enables them to be able to go back to their school and use what they've learned.
More than 40 theater professionals instilled their expertise to students during a variety of workshops.
We'll be sending the kids off to workshops. There are about 30 different workshops that are in every available genre and area of theater, and kids get kind of a smorgasbord.
I came here today to take the accents and dialect workshop and the fun with improv workshop.
In addition, students had opportunities to learn about audition techniques, stage combat, costuming, as well as to compete in Scene Fest and Song Fest workshops.
Today I participated in the Song Fest workshop, and I got to watch a bunch of different people sing songs, and I got to sing a song myself, and then we were critiqued by the mentor, and it really helped me in my growth as an actor.
The other deal that's really important is we have 12 major colleges and universities here looking for theater students in technical theater and in performing theater, and there is scholarship money to be had.
One thing that's really cool about today is that people get to audition for colleges.
And these kids are seeing, some of them maybe for the first time, that there actually could be a future in the theater arts for them after they leave high school.
During the festival, 22 students were presented with all-county theater awards to recognize their outstanding work and contributions to theater arts at their schools.
It's really helpful for everyone to see what other actors are doing, see what other high schools are doing, and kind of learn from that and better yourself.
This week, during its regular session, the council honored Madeline Hannington, an English teacher at Gaithersburg Middle School. Ms. Hannington was awarded a Milken Educated Award, which is often recognized as one of the nation's top teacher recognition programs. She was selected for a number of reasons, among them her efforts to mentor teachers and share her lessons across the area, organizing a math and science parent academy, and arranging for Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor to speak to students.
I think it's so important to help our students, to help them learn, to know that all students can learn, and to be that flexible and that creative to get them there. So it's so important. I love what I do. I can't see myself doing anything else.
And with that, we close this edition of County Report this week. Join us at this time every week for a look at what's going on inside Montgomery County. I'm Lorna Virgili, and thank you for watching.